end of the chapter. I'm excited. Daddy's excited. Oh, geez, what a ride it's been. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joey Murphy. Chapter 6, Practical Techniques of Mental Healings. Someone that I've conversed with before emailed me the other day, and she was like, Tim, this isn't even chapter 6 of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And I go, isn't it? There's a lot of different editions of this book, so I'm reading from this edition that I like. I think it's called the Rough Cut on Amazon. I'll put a link again in the description. It also includes How to Attract Money, which is another great Joseph Murphy book. This edition I think is like, it basically should be like the original. So I think it was chapter 6 in the original, but regardless, the chapter, whatever version of the Power of the Subconscious Mind you have, the chapter title should be Practical Techniques and Mental Healings. That's what we've read through. And we're finally to the helpful pointers summation of the chapter. In this chapter, he doesn't actually call it helpful pointers. He says, serve yourself with scientific truth. And then he gives Joseph Murphy, when I say he, Joseph Murphy gives 12 helpful pointers that kind of summate what we've been talking about and what he talked about in this chapter the last couple weeks. Remind me never to read a whole freaking chapter of one of these books again on YouTube. Oh my God. Laborious. No, but it's been good to converse and talk about these ideas. As always, listen, if you want to get deeper with it and you want to talk to me personally about it, coach, counsel with me, Radical Counselor, Tim Grimes at radicalcounselor.com. Yeah, in all semi-seriousness, if you want to go deeper with these ideas, if you're liking what I'm saying in the car about these ideas, I can help you a lot more if I talk to you over the phone or over Zoom, because it's a lot more personal than these car videos, and probably a little bit less silly, maybe more silly. Serve yourself with scientific truth. So I'm just going to read each point and comment if it feels appropriate. 1. Be a mental engineer and use tried and proven techniques in building a grander and greater life. What Murphy is positing, I think that's a word, in this book is that these ideas, these concepts have been around for a long time. It wasn't like Abdullah fucking rolled over and was like, boom, boom, here's these ideas. No one's ever heard of these ideas since the Bible. Murphy's saying that, these ideas have always been understood and explained, and the ideas here can be tested. And you can use them and prove them for yourself to be true, to build a grander and greater life. Point 2, your desire is your prayer. We spent a lot of time going over that. Your desire is your prayer. Picture the fulfillment of your desire now and feel its reality, and you will experience the joy of the answered prayer. And again, just doing that, even if there was no external result, no external manifestation, as they call it, from doing this, just if it was just to get that sense of joy and peace within you, just that would be reason enough to do this for a real deep desire. I did a video recently discussing this, how a lot of time we don't understand that these exercises, the way I look at them, I come at it more from like a stress reduction, reduce your anxiety, feel more present, feel the abundance within you. These exercises are meant for you to feel good pretty much right away now. When you do a deep visualization or affirmative exercise, it's like the peace that passeth understanding, the release, right now. It's not about it manifesting later on, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years from now, as much as it is about, on a psychological level, experiencing it right now. Super helpful to recognize. Just super helpful to recognize. This is why I talk about this stuff, and we read this entire chapter is so we can recognize that. Point 3, desire to accomplish things the easy way with the sure aid of mental science. The easy way, What's that line from the Bible, that Jesus says, my load is easy. My load is light, about the yoke. Again, the sure aid of mental science. Murphy's saying this is something you can count on. Test it. It's underexplored. It's not appreciated by most people. It's not appreciated by mainstream science yet. But there's this mental science of, utilizing belief and feeling to get more of what you want in your life. And as we just touched upon, at its most, primal psychological level, that's getting what you want quickly or right now by simply doing these techniques. And then the more you do them, the more you get that sense of peace and fulfillment, the more likely it is that then these things you're thinking about and want will manifest externally as well. All right? 4, you can build radiant health, success, and happiness by the thoughts you think in the hidden studio of your mind. Love that, the hidden studio of your mind. Again, that reminds me of the quiet room of Maxwell Maltz. I'll probably put a link above. Maxwell Maltz talking about retreat to your quiet room a few times a day. And I'm just going to mention it really quickly again. I've said it. I always say it when I mention the quiet room and Maxwell Maltz. Maltz is more flexible than both Murphy and Neville when it comes to these ideas and implementing them, especially in terms of visualization. So don't feel like you have to do a certain looped scene or some fucking boring bullshit like that if it feels boring. You want to access that sense of relaxed, fulfilled, quiet, inner peace. And you can do that by retreating to the hidden studio of your mind or your quiet room, as Maxwell Maltz says. Point 5. How we're doing time-wise? Not great. We'll do this. We'll bash these out. Experiment scientifically until you personally prove that there is always a direct response from the infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind to your conscious thinking. Or as Neville Goddard liked to say, fucking test it! Test it for yourself! Don't listen to fucking dumbass motherfuckers like myself on YouTube. Test it! Test it! Test it for yourself! It's the best way! Test it! That's what the science aspect, people love throwing law, science, whatever. But scientifically, you just keep on testing till you see for yourself and you see, oh, wow, that is true. That is true. What I'm thinking and imagining, I'm getting a response consciously and subconsciously. There's a connection here from my thoughts to what, how I react to things in my world, etc. You understand that. Test it. Don't listen to me. Test it. Don't listen to Joseph Murphy. Test it. Point 6, feel the joy and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of your desire. Any mental picture which you have in your mind is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Okay. Again, I would suggest, practically speaking, start with just the feeling of, feel it now. Get into that feeling state. And the more you access that and feel relaxed, there's a joy and restfulness there, and then you feel okay. And then you're like, you know what, this is going to happen. Something good is going to happen to me. And it can be specific, it can be general, it can be whatever. It's a different, more peaceful outlook and way of approaching life than being worried about what you have to do next, and I got to do this in order for this to happen, and maybe it's not going to happen, and I'm going to think about worst case scenarios all day long, which is what we have such a tendency to do. And we don't have to do that as much. Joy and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of your desire. And that joy and restfulness you access now. Not when the desire has externally manifested. No, we do it now. Okay? That's what Murphy's getting at there. That sounds a little bit grandiose when I talk about it like that, but you get the point. I'm always saying the same shit anyway, I'm just trying to hammer it into our heads until we understand it more and more, And that goes for me, obviously, just as much as you. Point 7, a mental picture is worth 1,000 words. Your subconscious will bring to pass any picture held in the mind backed by faith. Now, again, don't feel like you have to do crazy visualization exercises to get that mental picture there. Just by stating a simple statement, affirmation over and over again, you get a mental picture. If I just say peace, 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 just by doing that over and over again, I get a mental picture. You get a mental picture from things you say. No matter what. So don't worry about this fucking vivid thing, it's a red apple. It's a red delicious apple. Who gives a fuck? Just say apple, apple, apple. That's enough. The image comes, You hold it in a relaxed state, meaning you're just relaxed about it, but you hold it. And again, this is the power of active affirming. If you just affirm something, just da, 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 da. If you affirm something you resonate with, peace, 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 peace. You just affirm that with, calm resolve because you want peace, or it could be you want love, you want wealth, you want health, whatever it is. You affirm that because it resonates with you, and that holds a picture in mind. And you build more and more faith the more you picture it and feel it by just stating it again and again. And obviously you can do SATs and very vivid visualization exercises as well to do this. It's phenomenal. If you like doing them, if they work effectively for you. But if they don't worry about holding a fucking crazy vivid picture. Just affirm, just relax and think about what you want as opposed to what you don't want, which is what we inadvertently do a lot of the time. Point 8, avoid all effort or mental coercion in prayer. Get into a sleepy, drowsy state and lull yourself to sleep, feeling and knowing that your prayer is answered. This links with everything we've just talked about. And again, avoid all effort or mental coercion. Too much effort will lead to the opposite of what you want. That's what Kuei always talks about. Point 9, remember that the thankful heart is always close to the riches of the universe. Thankfulness, a feeling of gratitude, a feeling of joyful restfulness and peace. That relief, that thankfulness, oh my gosh, things are good. That's powerful. If you can just access that sense of thankfulness as you go through your day, if you can access that with more consistency, you'll feel better, and your life will probably improve outwardly gradually as well. 10. To affirm is to state that it is so, and as you maintain this attitude of mind as true, regardless of all evidence to the contrary, you will receive an answer to your prayer. Pretty clear, so we always talk about. Point 11, generate electronic waves of harmony, health, and peace by thinking of the love and the glory of God. What we were recently discussing about basically the absolute method or the golden key or the stuff that H.M. Lee Katie always talks about, stuff that modern times someone like Richard Dotz always talks about. I would say electronic waves of harmony, health, and peace, that's more a metaphor, not literal. You can take it literally, but I don't know why the fuck you would. Just, think of God instead of your problem. And you're a long way to solving your outward problem. And if you really think about God, purely, I guess you could say, or fully, your problem's going to not matter to you in the same way it did before. And again, you can simply use a phrase like God, God, God. That's going to put an image to your mind just saying God. Or if you want to be so brash, you can say, I am God. I am God. Again, just whatever phrase you want to use, whatever resonates for you. Point 12, last point. What you decree and feel as true will come to pass. Decree harmony, health, peace, and abundance.